In the skies above Alaska, the Cold War's shadow lingers. For the third time in just 1 week, American fighters scramble to meet Russian aircraft, testing the edges of US air defense. It's a reminder that while the headlines focus on Ukraine and Europe, the Arctic remains a frontline of great power rivalry. Today, we break down what happened, why it matters, and how it fits into the larger picture of US-Russia tensions in 2025. On Sunday, fighters from the North American Aerospace Defense Command, better known as an NORAD, intercepted a Russian Il-20 surveillance and reconnaissance plane flying in the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. This was no ordinary interception. An entire team was scrambled, one E-3 Sentry command and control aircraft, to F-16 fighting Falcons, and to KC-135 Stratotankers for mid-air refueling. Their mission: intercept, shadow, and visually identify the Russian aircraft. Visuals: stock footage of Il-20 aircraft, animation of NORAD intercept flight paths, radar tracking animation. The Russian Il-20 stayed in international airspace. It did not cross into US or Canadian territory, but its presence was enough to trigger a rapid response. To understand why this matters, we need to talk about the Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. An ADIZ is not sovereign territory. Instead, it's a buffer zone in international airspace where any aircraft approaching a nation's borders must identify itself. For the United States and Canada, Alaska's ADIZ is critical. Why? Because it stretches across the Arctic, an area where Russian bombers, reconnaissance aircraft, and sometimes fighter escorts regularly patrol. In short, if you're flying near Alaska and you don't make your intentions clear, an NORAD will be there to meet you. So why is Moscow sending planes into this zone so often? First, it's about surveillance. The Il-20 is essentially Russia's flying spy plane, loaded with radar, sensors, and intelligence-gathering equipment. Second, it's about testing readiness. Every time Russian aircraft appear near Alaska, NORAD must decide how to respond. For Moscow, it's a low-risk way to measure US reaction times and tactics. And third, it's about signaling power. At a time when Russia is bogged down in Ukraine, flying near Alaska reminds Washington and the world that Russia still has reach across the globe. This latest intercept was the third in a row. On August 20th, NORAD F-16S intercepted a Russian Il-20 in the Alaskan ADIZ. On August 21st, another Russian aircraft appeared, prompting another scramble. And on August 24th, it happened yet again. 3 incidents, back to back, all within 1 week. NORAD emphasized in its statement, these flights are not unusual. Russian aircraft have been probing the ADIZ for decades, but the frequency 3 times in 7 days suggests a deliberate pattern. How does an NORAD detect and respond so quickly? The answer is a layered defense system. Satellites constantly scan the skies. Ground-based radars along Alaska's vast coastline track incoming signatures. Airborne radars on aircraft, like the E-3 Sentry, expand coverage even further. Once an unidentified aircraft is detected, fighter jets, like the F-16s, are scrambled to intercept. This system, refined since the Cold War, ensures that no aircraft approaches North America without being seen. Let's talk about the star of the show, the F-16 Fighting Falcon, nicknamed the Viper. This aircraft has been in service since the 1970s, but it remains one of the most versatile fighters in the world. Top speed, over Mach 2, armament, air-to-air missiles, cannons, and advanced radar systems. Mission: defend North American skies at a moment's notice. When Russian aircraft enter the ADIZ, it's these jets that close the distance, fly alongside, and make their presence known. These interceptions don't happen in a vacuum. They're part of a larger geopolitical chessboard. Russia's military activity near Alaska has long mirrored tensions elsewhere. During the Cold War, Soviet bombers regularly probed US air defenses. That tradition continues today, especially as Russia pushes back against NATO's support for Ukraine. And remember, the Arctic is becoming more strategically important. Melting ice opens new shipping lanes and access to resources, making it another arena for US-Russia rivalry. So, should Americans be worried? NORAD says no. Its official statement made clear. This Russian activity in the Alaskan ADIZ occurs regularly and is not seen as a threat. The Russian aircraft never entered US or Canadian sovereign airspace. Instead, these are more like muscle-flexing maneuvers, serious, but not immediately dangerous. Still, they are a reminder of how thin the line can be between routine patrols and dangerous escalation. The real question is what happens from here. Will Russia continue its near-daily flights into the Alaska ADIZ? How will an ORAD balance deterrence with avoiding escalation? And could a close call like an accidental mid-air collision trigger a larger crisis? For now, the pattern is clear. Russian planes probe, an ORAD responds, and the cycle continues. But in an era of heightened tensions from Ukraine to the Arctic, the risks are rising. The interceptions off Alaska may not make front-page news every day, but they are a reminder that the world's great powers are still locked in quiet contests of strength, contests that play out not only in Europe or Asia, but in the skies above the Arctic. For the pilots who scramble at a moment's notice, for the radar operators scanning the frozen expanse, and for the commanders watching every blip on their screens, this is daily reality. And for the rest of us, it's a glimpse into a world where peace depends on vigilance, and where the margin for error is razor thin. 3 interceptions in 1 week. The Arctic is quiet, but it is never calm. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead on the latest global events, military updates, tech, and trending news, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and join the Dynamic Trends community. And don't forget, check out the link in the description for 10 amazing Amazon products we've handpicked just for you. From gear to gadgets, you don't want to miss them. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video.